Good afternoon. My name is Shirley J. Hughes, and I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the Board of Trustees for Johnson C. Smith University. It is my honor to welcome you to our beautiful campus, and thank you for joining us today in the Jane M. Smith Memorial Church. For more than 150 years, this institution has served our community, both near and far, producing some of the best and brightest minds in the country. Here at Johnson C. Smith University, we honor all Smithites, both present students and those who have long since graduated. I have been on the board since 2004, and it has been rewarding to watch so many of our graduates become leaders in their professions and in their communities. In fact, I see some of them here with us today. Each Smithite is a chapter in a story that will continue being told for generations to come. While Charlotte has changed quite a bit through the years, this institution has remained steady and unwavering in our commitment to academic excellence and social change. We are thrilled to host today's announcement and play a part in kicking off this important initiative, because as this community's only HBCU, we have an even bigger role to play in Charlotte's journey to equity for all.
Thank you, Chair Hughes. Good afternoon. I am Clarence D. Armbrister, 14th President of Johnson C. Smith University. I join Chair Hughes and welcome you all to JCSU this lovely fall day. Today is not only a hopeful day for this university and the community of West Charlotte, where this campus calls home, but for our entire city, county, and region. For too long, we have approached equity from our various individual silos, chipping away with fits and starts. But today you will hear from corporate executives, foundation leaders, and philanthropists who are committed to a wide-ranging plan that will lessen our digital divide, create pathways to employment and advancement in corporate careers, and provide much-needed support for our cities of corridors of opportunity, and position Johnson C. Smith University for success for generations to come. This public-private partnership has the potential to transform Charlotte into the standard bearer for cities looking to improve racial equity, social justice, economic opportunity, and upward mobility. As a university, I can promise you we are ready for the challenge that awaits, and as part of this community, we are equally ready for the change this initiative promises. Now, it is my honor to welcome the woman who has been the catalyst for this entire initiative, challenging each and every one of us to make real progress in tackling equity for all. May I present to you the mayor of Charlotte, Ms. Vi Lyles.
You're just too kind. But good afternoon, everyone. And I am so glad that this day is here. I want to thank Shirley Hughes and Dr. Armbrister, and particularly the JCSU campus team for hosting this event. On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd was murdered, and this country and our city protested his death. The Charlotte City Council responded. We marched, we listened, and we began work on policing and community safety initiatives. So the first thing I'd like to do is recognize the council members in the audience today and ask them to please stand. I would also like to acknowledge the many partners in our efforts to build community. One of the very first ones is the Mecklenburg County Commissioners. I'd like for them to stand and be recognized. You know, there are many organizations that are working on racial equity, affordable housing, social and environmental justice. And there are many grassroots leaders, faith leaders, and community leaders that give so much of their time to these efforts every day. And so when you think about this, following the George Floyd protests and the beginning of COVID, the disparities in education, health care, and the wealth gap were clearly revealed. The weight of this responsibility of knowing the history and living through the history has long been carried by many of our residents that are Black and brown, by the many grassroots organizations, and often by local government as we try to deal with these essential issues that we have. Yet, in my opinion, to address systemic inequity, corporate America has to be at the table because they bring strength, their ability to create opportunity and engage with the civic efforts that are underway is really an important part of this initiative. Think about last week when Fifth Third Bank made a significant contribution to the West End corridor. Their contribution to that corridor of opportunity put a stake in the ground. And today is about more stakes in the ground. Today is actually a very significant moment for a lot of reasons, but for me it's a defining moment because today is about what we actually do so well, public-private partnerships. I want to thank the Charlotte Executive Leadership Council because when I came to them and said, what are we going to say, not just as government and not just as community, but what do we say from the corporate hallways, boardrooms? What do we really say? And they said, we will address this systemic inequity. So today, we're launching $250 million. You know, this investment is being called the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. This name was chosen because many of them asked me if it was okay, and I said yes. But seriously, this name has been chosen because this challenge is going to be with us a very long time. And these issues that we're trying to address today are long-standing and deep. You know, I stand on the shoulders of mayors before me, and I want to recognize Mayor Roberts and Mayor Gant being here today. It is my sincere hope that those who follow me will stand for this effort, and it will be something that we will actually do and accomplish. This initiative combines the things that Charlotte does best: bold ideas, philanthropy, collaborative problem solving, and, as I said, our public-private partnerships. So I want to say thanks to the private sector who stood up, worked over a year to put together these commitments that they will announce today. Thanks to Michael Marsicano and the Foundation for the Carolinas team for leading this fundraising efforts. But if you know me well, the thanks that I want to give is to this community, because you're making it possible for us to achieve a diverse, inclusive, and welcoming city. You're making it possible for us to tackle racial inequity and upward mobility with accountability and abundance. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for taking part of this. And thank you for believing in ourselves. I truly hope that we will be the city that stands on the hill and we're able to say, we did something and we did it right. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Jean Woods, representing the Charlotte corporate community and the Charlotte Executive Leadership Council.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor, for those inspiring words, your inspiring vision, and your relentless focus that brought us here today. My name is Jean Woods. I'm CEO of Atrium Health and also Vice Chair of the Charlotte Executive Leadership Council. And I have the honor to be here today representing Mike Lamach of Train Technologies and past chairs Lynn Good from Duke Energy and also Brian Moyningham from Bank of America and the full CELC Council. Since our inception in 2015, the Council has focused on accelerating solutions that position Charlotte as a national leader in economic vitality, in economic opportunity, and quality of life for all. That is why 26 CEOs and business leaders who make up the Council were excited to lead our effort to support the mayor in this unprecedented effort to address racial equity in a transformative way. In fact, the initiatives you will hear more about today perfectly align with the pillars of CELC, which are workforce development, education, and healthy communities. The mayor's work focuses on workforce through investments in minority-owned businesses, in corridors of opportunities, and the advancement of Black and brown people. And on education, with efforts to bridge the digital divide and support Johnson C. Smith, this will contribute to a better community, one in which all will have the opportunity to thrive. As the mayor's request, the CELC recruited key leadership in this effort and specifically asked Malcolm Coley, Charlotte's E&Y managing partner, and Janet Labar, president and CEO of Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, to serve as co-chair of the corporate response team. Malcolm also serves on the CELC and is vice chair of the CLT Alliance. Together, Janet and Malcolm deftly coalesced the business community through CLC, and it led us to where we're at now in celebrating this milestone event. In addition, more than 80 members of our individual organizations, together with other businesses, banded together to populate the work streams that over the last year developed the initiatives you will hear more about today. Going forward, the CELC will remain engaged in the mayor's racial equity work. Malcolm Coley, representing the CLT Alliance, and Mike Lamach, representing CELC, will serve as co-chairs of the oversight boards. These boards are designed to ensure accountability to the benchmarks and to the goals to be achieved. And funds will be held at the Foundations for the Carolinas and released at the direction of these boards. Our team members will also stay engaged in the work streams, continuing to provide input and connections to the initiatives as they launch and they grow. As you will hear today, the members of the CELC are extraordinarily excited about this and committed to this work because, as the mayor indicated, Charlotte has a long history of public-private partnerships. In fact, it's in our DNA, and it's really what differentiates us from other cities around the country. So today, members of our corporate community join with our public partners in support of an effort to position Charlotte as the definitive standard of an American city for achieving racial equity, social justice, economic opportunity, and upward mobility. Lastly, it was Henry Ford who said, "Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success." Our goal in this beginning is to stay together and to work together through every step of this journey until we reach our vision of the Queen City being the national model for equity and opportunity. So thank you for being with us today and celebrating this historic effort. And now I will ask Malcolm and Janet to join us here. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. The Charlotte Executive Leadership Council is an enthusiastic partner in this work and is a key reason why we are here today. And you are correct, this is a historic effort, an inspirational one as well. This is evidence that the campaign goal that has been set to support this transformational work. The Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative campaign, a true public-private partnership, will raise $250 million to address inequities and boost opportunities in Mecklenburg County. Of the $250 million this initiative seeks to raise, 84% will be in the form of public dollars and philanthropic dollars and gifts and grants. 16% will be comprised of low-return debt and equity. These dollars will fund the initiatives of the areas of investments, which were developed over several months of work by numerous engaged leaders. Janet and I would like to share with you more details of these efforts. Investing in Johnson C. Smith. Today, we have the opportunity to transform Johnson C. Smith University, build on its 154-year history to position it among the top 10 historically Black colleges and universities in the nation. We can Thank you. We can establish a source for professional, exceptional, diverse talent for employers. We can change the course of lives by identifying and providing scholarships to promising students in our schools. Each year, we can attract a cohort of the nation's best minority students by providing the promise that if they perform academically, a guaranteed career or graduate school opportunity awaits them at graduation. We can position Charlotte as a city that's undeniably values and support our HBCU and its students. President Clay Armbrister and I co-chair the Johnson C. Smith University Priority Area of Work, which a significant plan of the university was developed. The plan will enable Johnson C. Smith to strengthen academic excellence, deliver strong career outcomes, and launch seamless academic pathways. The university would establish 5 new outstanding academic offerings that fill some of the greatest needs for Charlotte employers. These include finance, retail, pre-med, data analytics, and computer science. Students will be exposed to internships beginning their freshman year, and close ties with the Charlotte business community will be established throughout all programming. This level of transformation requires dollars. A goal of $80 million in private and foundation funding has been set for this work, but also active engagement. 5 representatives from the Charlotte Executive Leadership Council companies will join the JCSU board, adding their talents and expertise to those of current trustees. A transformational leader will be named to work alongside President Armbrister to bring this vision to life, and Charlotte's other institutions of higher learning will be actively engaged in partnership. Together, we honor Johnson C. Smith history, but we look to its future. A future where Charlotte's HBCU attracts local and national acclaim. One where its faculty delivers excellent academics, and one where its students fill in demands with jobs, grow into leadership positions, and play an integral part in our growing economy going forward.
For me, JCSU means legacy, community, excellence, and a history of community organizing, not only for the city of Charlotte, but all of North Carolina. For the past 11 years, I've had the privilege and the honor of working with some of the most incredible minds that I've ever encountered. We are here potentially educating the next generation of leaders and those who will serve this particular community, but who will probably go on and be leaders at the global level as well.
My name is Kendall Reagans, and I'm a freshman at Johnson C. Smith University studying political science. So both of my parents did go to Johnson C. Smith University, and this is where they met. Personally, Johnson C. Smith means an opportunity, an opportunity to be around people that look like me, that want an education, that want to see better for themselves. You're not going to be a number. You're not just going to be a person here. You're not just going to be at a small university. You're going to be a Smithite.
It's important for Charlotte to have a thriving HBCU, especially when we think about the economy. Many of Charlotte's leaders and professionals are going to come from Johnson C. Smith University. Many of these students are going to end up right here in Charlotte. Charlotte will become their home. Why not begin to introduce the student body to the local opportunities early on to build that relationship?
As President and CEO of the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, I have a front row seat to Charlotte's amazing growth and economic vitality. We welcome new businesses, new investment, and new jobs at an astounding pace. Our existing businesses are growing and thriving, and we boast one of the most prosperous economies in the US. But success is not enjoyed by all of our neighbors, nor all of our business owners. There are corridors in our city with high poverty, unemployment, and a lack of access to opportunity where many Charlotteans are not experiencing the prosperity the city offers. And despite these challenges, these neighborhoods are rich in history, pride, and potential. The Corridors of Opportunity work, chaired by Walter Price of Moore and Van Allen, along with engagement by the City of Charlotte's Tracy Dodson, designed a solution to fulfill that potential. With an investment of $62 million from the public sector, at least $37 million in debt equity, and $10 million from the private sector, we will bring improved access to employment and better connectivity to workforce services and resources that strengthen neighborhoods. In addition, the debt equity solution will enable corporations to come to the table by providing equitable access to capital for Black and brown business owners through a more flexible lending platform. And direct grants will also be available to small businesses in the corridors to bridge gaps and open new doors. The plan will spur growth in these corridors by working with developers from these neighborhoods on new projects. It will encourage companies to create employment centers to provide jobs and stability for those living in these corridors. The plan calls for the creation of an ecosystem that will enable minority-owned companies within our corridors to flourish throughout the business cycle by providing, yes, capital, but also access to lawyers, CPAs, mentors, and corporate partners to help with operations, marketing, and technology training that many of them cite today as barriers. This is transformation at work. This is how we help close the wealth gap.
My name is Dalton Espaillat, and we own and operate Three Amigos, Sabor Street Grill in La Caseta.
So right now we're in Camp North End. Right next to us we have somebody who does ramen, so they're from Japan. Then we have others that do plant-based foods.
Without this big development into this area, it wouldn't have attracted, the culinary talent that we currently have right here. Whenever we were presented the Camp North End opportunity, I wanted to make sure that we had, local people, people involved in the community, being as our neighbors per se.
Making sure that the opportunities are created for people who are already here, not just bringing in people to invest. It is a connecting space, for Uptown, for NODA, and then the neighborhoods that are here. So it makes it accessible for people, regardless of their economic status, regardless of where they live. It creates opportunities for everybody.
I'm the executive director of the West Boulevard Neighborhood Coalition. I absolutely love the rich history of the West Boulevard area. We have communities and land that was owned by former slaves, and then we also have rich artists and just history. It's absolutely beautiful and amazing, and the community members come together like a family. A lot of them have spent a lifetime here, and so they are invested in building where their roots are. There's a bunch of resources and services and grocery stores and amenities everywhere else around this area, but the actual West Boulevard corridor itself really is missing a lot of those critical amenities. To be designated as a corridor of opportunity gives us the chance to grow and develop. It gives us a chance to beautify our areas, to make our West Boulevard corridor as livable and enjoyable as other parts of the city.
When COVID-19 struck and our school buildings closed, 16,000 were without the ability to connect digitally. 16,000 students were unable to participate in daily learning with their peers. 16,000 students were on the verge of being left behind and likely remaining behind well beyond the pandemic. Charlotte rallied, and dollars were raised quickly to address, but this need was no surprise. And the need for a long-term solution should come as no surprise either. For participation in our modern society, economy, democracy requires citizens to have the tools and know how to thrive, like the internet, a computer, digital, and information skills. Clearly, racial and digital inequities persist, preventing many students and families in our communities from obtaining the tools and know-how to thrive. In Charlotte, our estimates shows that 55,000 households lack internet in the home. Some estimates suggest over 50,000 households lacks a working computer, and an even higher number of citizens are in need of digital and information skill training. Yet, only 19% of North Carolinians have taken advantage of the emergency broadband benefit. The Question This Area Priority Team, led by Brad Wallace, my partner at EY, and Rob Focus of Avid Exchange, asks itself, how do we make our community the most digital, equitable in America? The answer starts in Charlotte history as a leader in digital equity efforts statewide and nationwide. It continues in a big way today on a pathway to ensuring that our communities, our neighbors, our friends, our businesses, and our youth and their families have the modern tools needed to thrive right here in Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. We will accomplish this through a campaign raise of $38 million from the public sector and $20 million from the private sector, which will enable the creation of the Center for Digital Equity. Housed at Queen's University of Charlotte, the center will partner with multiple existing grassroots and corporate efforts. We will provide devices that the households will own, internet access in vulnerable communities, and will ensure they have coaching to use the technology to its fullest benefit. Through this effort, Charlotte can aggressively address the digital divide and position all of our citizens to thrive.
Access to technology means inclusion. Inclusion is a catalyst for change. And if we don't have all of those parts and pieces working together, we will continue to have people in this community, people in Charlotte, on the margins and not being able to fully participate and contribute to and benefit from all that is a Charlotte community.
14% of the homes in Mecklenburg County, which is about 55,000 households, do not have internet access at all. It's not just necessarily do you have fiber that's running down your street. Not only do you know how to use a computer, how to get logged on, how do you really take advantage of opportunities to help connect you to jobs, to school, to health, to banking.
I am a mother of 2 sons that go to West Charlotte. When the pandemic hit, it hit our family pretty hard. We really didn't have a lot of sources to technology. It was limited to our phones. It was very challenging for all of us. I received a laptop from Bank of America for me and my boys, and I was so happy because it took some stress away financially and mentally, because now we're kind of on the same playing level, and a lot of people in my environment are either don't have access to it or don't know what to do with it when they get it. And we need that to be on an equal board so we can have just as much opportunity as everyone else has.
With racial equity, you have to start with what the actual end user needs, the family, the student. Different people in this community have different starting places. As part of the initiative to close the digital divide in Charlotte, the first thing we're going to do is establish the Center for Digital Equity.
And then we're going to have goals set for each of those 3 pillars that are part of the digital divide. So devices, internet adoption, as well as digital literacy.
I think it makes actually Charlotte an example for how this can be solved throughout the nation.
This is just so awesome. Gotta take a breath. Lastly, catalyzing employer commitment, where businesses look inward to redefine, embrace, and commit to the leadership role they will play within their own walls to address racial equity. The initiatives of this work, which I co-chaired with my terrific partner, Catherine Black of Bank of America, align around 3 pillars. First, people. Advancing Black and brown leaders to mid, senior, and C-level positions and onto corporate boards. This inward look means more companies will assess their practices and policies around inclusivity and equity in development and advancement in career progression. It also means they will establish baselines, set goals, and report progress with regularity. Second, pipeline. Expanding workforce pipelines for Black and brown talent, helping them earn the credentials and learning experiences needed for high-demand, livable wage careers. Charlotte already has a strong coalition of talent, education, and workforce providers. Many of you are in the room today. But we've yet to maximize the potential of connecting more employers to our educational and workforce ecosystem. We'll push for more partnerships with providers and launch a centralized portal that connects our talent pipeline with resources and employers. And third, partners. Investing in supplier diversity and deepening minority-owned supplier relationships. We'll work with employers to set concrete goals for contracting with minority businesses and prioritizing diverse suppliers. And we'll leverage the corridors of opportunity work on small business capitalization. Within the total of $3 million in campaign funds, the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance will establish an Employer Office of Inclusion and Advancement. While it's a small portion of the campaign total, this work represents and supports tens of millions of dollars that employers will invest within their own organizations to commit to racial equity through hiring, advancing, and contracting with Black and brown talent. The Employer Office of Inclusion and Advancement will aggressively support companies on this journey. And it is a journey, one that requires leadership commitment, support structures, intentionality, and transparency. Achieving success in employer commitment requires us to hold ourselves and each other accountable, and if today is any indication, the business community is here, committed, and ready to lead change.
from, where I'm from, you don't really get to see a lot of people that look like you, that are in the tech industry. I love being at Truist. I am an associate design engineer. Growing up on the west side of Charlotte, going to Northwest School of the Arts, working in social work, I didn't actually think that tech would be something that I would do. I'm glad that I ran into Road to Hire, which is the organization that essentially helped me start my career within tech. Diversity and leadership, I think, is important. Road to Hire does a great job of making that more of a reality for more companies and more individuals. By making that commitment, it creates a different level of trust. The company I care about, the company I invest in, the company that I work for actually cares about the things that go on with me socially.
I think how companies can actually improve their diversity of their workforce is really simple to me. It's three things. It's you hire, you retain, and you advance. And I think one of the best ways that companies benefit from providing career paths for Black and Brown associates is really giving them a vision of what's possible. When you see someone that looks like you or you could relate to, that's excelled to a high level like a board seat or a C-suite role, it gives you confidence that you can actually do that too. If we're all doing our part and we're all holding each other accountable to do that, then we're going to transform this world, this country, to be able to get more of our citizens to have productive lives, create the next generation of college graduates and corporate executives. It's our corporate responsibility.
In the wake of George Floyd's murder and the unrest that followed, Mayor Lyles set a vision for a bold partnership on racial equity. She asked the corporate community to join her, and we enthusiastically agreed. Through almost 18 months of engagement and co-creation of potential solutions, we are here today with transformational community initiatives, with energy, excitement, and determination to achieve racial equity, social justice, and economic mobility. These 4 initiatives will forever change Charlotte for the better. It has been a personal honor for both Malcolm and me to be a part of this creation, to work alongside so many passionate and dedicated people in organizations spanning government, education, nonprofits, and business. Thank you to all who have been engaged, and we look forward to further integrating this work with additional community partners to fulfill this bold vision that Mayor Lyles has set forth. It is now my pleasure to introduce one of our valuable public partners, Charlotte City Manager Marcus Jones.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to the mayor and the city council for bold vision. You have been dedicated leaders on our journey to build a great city and a more equitable city. What began as a series of ideas at your first council retreat has blossomed into something real and something very special. You have been intentional in your investments in our community, and we have been intentional in leveraging private and philanthropic support with these investments. I'm excited to be here as part of a significant milestone for our community. I am pleased to announce today that the City of Charlotte's commitment to continue our leadership and support in 2 work streams. That includes $62 million for the Corridors of Opportunity and $10 million for digital inclusion. These 2 areas have been a major emphasis for both the mayor and the council. Under their leadership, the city created the Corridors of Opportunity program. This work has led to millions of dollars already invested in the 6 corridors, our future capital improvement program with dedicated funds for our corridors, and now these critical areas will receive even more support. On the digital inclusion front, even before the pandemic, we were working with our community partners to create a smart Charlotte. That collaboration continued during the pandemic as we recognized the urgent need for internet access for our families in these corridors. Today is a continuation of these priorities for us and an affirmation that our community supports these priorities. Thank you to everyone here and to the organizations that are working with us on this incredible journey. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jewel Hoover, and I serve our community as board chair for the Foundation of the Carolinas. We are pleased our professional team has the opportunity to work in close partnership with the Charlotte Executive Leadership Council and our 3 local governments. In recent years, we have all worked collaboratively to raise significant funds for upward mobility, universal pre-K, affordable housing, the COVID Response Fund, the Arts Infusion Campaign, and now the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. The Foundation is an institution we count on to raise funds for such community-wide priorities. We are also called on to serve as stewards of the funds raised, a role we take very seriously. And it is a role you have requested us to play again in this profoundly important effort before our community today. Your confidence and faith in the work of the Foundation is most affirming. So let's get to it and raise some dollars. I have the privilege of announcing 2 gifts after which other generous individuals, corporations, and institutions and foundations will follow one another in a parade of Charlotte generosity. Our efforts have already captured national attention, even though we have just begun. Bloomberg Philanthropies has committed $220,000 $220,000 for an important pilot component of one of the work streams. Also, Mike Lamach, Executive Chair of the Board of Directors of Train Technologies and current Chair of the Charlotte Executive Leadership Council, along with his wife Mary, have generously committed $500,000. This $500,000 goes to the Johnson C. Smith University workstream. We are grateful for Mike's leadership of CELC, and we appreciate the generosity of your family. Well, we're off and running. With dollars beginning to add up, who will follow Michael Bloomberg and Mike and Mary Lamach with more generosity? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Now I come back as Malcolm Coley, U.S. Central, EY U.S. Central leader and Charlotte managing partner. Mayor, on behalf of all my colleagues at EY, we are pleased to join with you in the execution of your vision, in which sets Charlotte the standard for an American city that is achieving racial equity, social justice, economic opportunity, and upward mobility through transformation of public and private partnership. At EY, we believe that our community only thrives when we create a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusiveness, which is the core of who we are. It is with sincere enthusiasm that we stand with the greater Charlotte community with a pledge of $1 million to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. This $1 million will be allocated $200,000 to the digital divide and $800,000 to Johnson C. Smith University. So, Mayor, thanks again for your leadership and your bold vision for making our city the city on the hill. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Walter Price with Moore Van Allen, and I'm honored to be here today in my role as the past co-chair of the Charlotte 2020 Host Committee. As you may recall, the Host Committee was the nonpartisan organization established to assist the city's efforts to support and host the 2020 RNC in Charlotte. I'm pleased to be with you this afternoon to share our organization's support for the corridors of opportunity as part of the mayor's initiatives. First, I'd like to recognize and thank Mayor Lyles, our city council, our city manager, Marcus Jones, and assistant city manager, Tracy Dodson, for their tremendous leadership and vision over the past few years, several years in the corridors. On behalf of our board and our leadership team, I'm pleased to announce that the Charlotte Host Committee will be providing $1 million to support continued grants and investments in the corridors. By investing in the corridors, the Host Committee continues to honor our original mission, which was to promote the Charlotte region and advance economic development efforts that will benefit our entire city and our surrounding communities. The Corridors of Opportunity Initiative represents a once-in-a-generation chance to make long-term positive impact through community engagement and inclusive development. The projects identified closely align with the many partnerships that the Host Committee formed over time to support small businesses, families, and nonprofits in our region. Our $1 million investment will help support the city's continued efforts to advance important community priorities in the 6 corridors, such as affordable housing, public safety, transportation, infrastructure, and workforce development. Again, on behalf of the leadership of the Host Committee, through this contribution, we're honored to leave a lasting impact on our community in a way that promotes growth and economic opportunity for all in our city. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Donnie Simmons. I'm an executive with Train Technologies, and I'm proud to be here on behalf of Train Technologies to announce a $1 million contribution to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. With more than 1,500 employees in the greater Charlotte region, we're committed to taking an active role in making Charlotte a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. That means a community with equitable access to quality education, pathways to meaningful career opportunities, and sustainable futures for all people. At Train Technologies, we believe that achieving racial equity and social justice starts with each one of us. We've experienced firsthand how diverse teams are more innovative and better at solving problems. We need diverse thinkers to challenge what's possible for a better, more just, and sustainable world. That's why we continue to take action in our workplace, in our communities, to create an opportunity for Black community and other people of color through community partnerships like this one, through our work to source, hire, and advance more diverse candidates, and through our work in inclusion. Just last week, we had a 2-day event that focused on inequality, allyship, and more. As a country, a city, and a company, we have to do better. We are committed to do just that and proud to be part of this historic partnership to accelerate action here in Charlotte. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna Nelson, and I have the privilege to be here today on behalf of National Gypsum Company and the C.D. Spangler Foundation. We are proud to support this vital cause, and that's why we are making a $1 million commitment to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative, specifically in support of erasing the digital divide. We believe education is essential to the cause of equity for all. But a digital divide that sees 14% of households and students in Mecklenburg County unable to adopt the internet at home is a problem we must overcome and a necessity for student success. On behalf of National Gypsum and the C.D. Spangler Foundation, thank you to all who are committing to this worthy cause.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? My name is James Jordan. I am the Executive Vice President and the Chief Operations Officer of Hornet Sports and Entertainment. And I also the President of the Hornets Foundation. And I've got my teammate here that we always travel together. So I wouldn't come alone as I Ward Freeman. He's the President and the Vice Chairman of Hornet Sports and Entertainment. The Michael Jordan family and the Charlotte Hornets Foundation are proud to support the Mayor's Racial Equity Fund. We have come here today to understand and to announce a gift of $1 million. The $1 million gift over 5 years will be split between $500 for Johnson C. Smith and $500 for Digital Divide. On the family's behalf and behalf of the Hornet Sports and Entertainment, this is what we want to do, and thanks, Mayor. We're always in it with you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you to Mayor Lyles, the Foundation for the Carolinas, and to my fellow business peers represented here. I'm Julie Jansen, Executive Vice President and CEO of Duke Energy Carolinas, and I'm so excited to announce Duke Energy's $3 million contribution to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. This new $3 million is in addition to our $4.2 million social justice and racial equity commitment in North Carolina, which includes $1.4 million specific projects in Charlotte, with a total to date of $7.2 million across our state. At Duke Energy, diversity, equity, and inclusion is a business imperative. The energy industry is in the midst of massive transformation, and we must have an innovative, talented team who represent our diverse customers to be successful. A few of the ways we're bringing these actions to life: we recently announced a partnership with E4 Carolinas on a new HBCU Energy Leadership Pathway program. Johnson C. Smith will be one of the 4 HBCUs to pilot that program. We are evaluating our practices across the entire hiring life cycle from how we attract a diverse pool of candidates, to how we interview, and to how we hire. We're intentional about providing diverse talent with development opportunities to accelerate their readiness for the next step in their career. And since 2016, we have spent $6 billion with diverse suppliers. A diverse workforce makes us a stronger company and provides a competitive advantage. We know there's a lot more to do, but we remain resolute in our commitment to make a difference for our employees, for our customers, and for our communities. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can I just say that the mayor and Jean, the CLC, and Michael Marsicano, the foundation, you really know how to throw a party. Because listen, if we cannot accomplish the things that we need to accomplish in this community with the people that are in this room, it cannot happen. And absolutely, we all know that it can. And so this is such a powerful day. Thank you so much. My name is Jesse Curitan, and I serve as Executive Vice President and Chief Consumer Officer for Novant Health. And I'm also a native Charlottean. And so many of these communities, many of these communities and the streets that we're investing in are streets that I played in and grew up in. And this is an exciting day. I'm privileged, I'm honored to be part of this group and excited for our community. Our mission at Novant Health is to improve the health of our communities one person at a time. And in alignment with this mission and our commitment to communities, which means we feel and we know we have to be proximate, I'm proud to announce a $3 million commitment to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. At Novant Health, we have a long history of being engaged in the communities that we serve, so that as we heal bodies, we're also healing neighborhoods, cities, and regions. We care deeply about our communities, and we've worked alongside other Charlotte organizations to address social determinants of health, such as access to food, housing, education, and employment. We look at the whole person and design care around factors that both directly and indirectly influence health outcomes. At Novant Health, we provide hundreds of programs that serve patients, neighbors, and some of our community's most vulnerable citizens. In 2020, we provided more than $1.2 billion in community benefit, which includes $180 million in financial assistance. I look forward to the day, I won't do it today, Jean, I look forward to the day that we announce other investments around equity within this community. At Novant Health, we are proud to provide hundreds of programs that serve patients and neighbors and some of our community's most vulnerable citizens, with an intentional and overall focus of improving those communities and making an impact with the populations that we support and serve. This commitment that we're making today to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative is a way for Novant Health to partner with other leading organizations in our community to make Charlotte a place where everyone can thrive. We look forward to the impact this initiative makes in our region in the years to come. By working together, we can create a lasting change in this community. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Marsicano, and I serve as CEO of Foundation for the Carolinas. A generous donor to this important initiative, Rick Lyles, could not join us this afternoon, and has given me the honor of announcing his personal gift. While Rick spends most of his time leading the remarkable enterprise Red Ventures, he is a civic leader and a philanthropist as well. Rick is deeply committed to economic opportunity and racial equity, with a long list of generous gifts in support. He is passionate about the nexus of education, training, and upward mobility. Countless individuals have advanced professionally and economically because of his philanthropic pursuits, including Road to Hire and Golden Door Scholars, nonprofits he founded. Today, Rick is making a gift of $5 million. To the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative for the students of Johnson C. Smith University. Rick believes JCSU is an important part of the history and future of Charlotte, and he's committed to helping JCSU become a top 10 HBCU with unparalleled academic opportunities for some of our city's brightest students. Rick, we thank you for your generosity.
Good afternoon, everyone. What an incredibly exciting day. I'm Jeff Brown, Chief Executive Officer of Ally. It's exciting to be here today to support the Mayor's Equity Initiative. Simply phenomenal and fantastic. Ally's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion is woven into our culture. It's vital to our success, and it's vital to our company's purpose. We're incredibly proud of the innovative programs at Ally that open pathways to economic mobility in Black and brown communities, closing the wealth gap, helping to build financial and social equity, and most critically, providing opportunities that will not just impact the individual, but rather whole families and whole communities for the better, just as we're doing today. The importance of giving back to communities where we live and where we work is embedded in the heart of our company. And with that in mind, today, I'm especially proud to announce that the Ally Charitable Foundation will support the Mayor's Initiative with a $5 million gift. Thank you. $2 million of those fundings are going to be used to support the digital divide, and another $3 million to support the debt and equity needs of small businesses in the corridors of opportunity. And because we recognize our role in supporting our communities from both financial and human perspectives, we're also committing, Clay, to you and your team to hire JCSU interns and permanent job placements every year. Ally has a deep history of working with HBCUs nationwide. Over the last 3 years, we've provided HBCU students over $400,000 in scholarships, already impacting some of your students, Clay, and it's also resulted in 9 full-time hires and 25 internships. We've also launched a program that awards over $700,000 to HBCU students that want to attend law school. So we greatly value and appreciate the need of a strong HBCU in our community. I'm just inspired by all the fellow leaders in this town. Private-public partnership, this is what it's all about. This is what's going to make Charlotte so successful. We're honored to play our role. Mayor, thank you to you and everyone.
Good afternoon. You know, there are many, many different approaches to dealing with inequities, but fundamental to every one that we're discussing and everyone in our modern era is the importance of digital equity and inclusion. And likewise, America's best cities all have different histories and different destinies, but private universities have always played a crucial role in both. My name is Dan Lugo, and I am the president of Queens University Charlotte, and Queens will serve as a proud partner in making Charlotte the most digitally equitable city in America.
This is a goal is critical to improving racial equity and economic mobility, and one that is attainable if we work together. Recognizing the transformative power of technology and reaching those in our community who need it most is work that Queens has been doing for years. Launched in 2011 as part of an investment in our School of Communication by the Knight Foundation, Digital Charlotte has tirelessly pursued digital and media literacy initiatives as pathways to educational and economic opportunities for all. As such, we are uniquely positioned to align $5.7 million in financial resources to lead a broad coalition of public and private partners and citizens in reaching our goals. Today, I am proud to stand alongside Queens alumna and trustee emerita Mayor Vi Lyles, our board chair, Jeff Brown, and Queens trustee Malcolm Coley, all of whom are playing instrumental roles in this initiative. Queens takes its position as a leader and convener in this great city very seriously, and working together, we will bridge the digital divide to make it a more just, equitable, and inclusive home for all. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Gene Woods here, proud to be representing my Atrium Health family, all 70,000 of them. And I'm here to announce support for this transformative initiative. Atrium Health will be contributing $22.8 million to this initiative. With $6 million specifically earmarked to support the 4 work streams that you heard about today. This gift will include $3 million in support of Johnson C. Smith University, which will include $1.5 million from our Bishop E. Battle Scholarship Fund towards tuition and pipeline programs for students pursuing careers in healthcare. Working with our colleagues at Wake Forest School of Medicine and President Ambrister, we are committing to build a pre-med curriculum that prepares Johnson C. Smith students for top medical schools in the country, including the one we will build here in 2024. Because every Johnson C. Smith student deserves the highest quality of health care as they pursue their academic dreams, we will also operate the healthcare system, the student healthcare system right here so that they have the highest quality of health right here on campus. Further, we'll be investing $18.7 million in the corridors of opportunities. Of this, $2.5 million will be put towards a fund to extend the work of City of Charlotte, helping to finance and provide pathways for minority-owned firms to participate and grow. We are in the planning process also of opening new community health centers in the corridors of opportunities to provide health care to the residents there where they live, work, and play, and to enhance our commitment to affordable housing. We're also donating 2,000 laptops to help bridge the digital divide. Lastly, as the largest employer in the entire state of North Carolina, Atrium Health will be furthering our commitment to provide jobs, career development, and advancement opportunities for people and leaders of color. So thank you, Mayor, for your inspirational vision, for bringing us all together in this beautiful church on this beautiful day, and we look forward to a bright future ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Seth Irvin, and I serve as the Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library. And on behalf of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library CEO and Chief Librarian, M.T. Turner, who unfortunately could not join us today, I want to express our organization's pride in being a small part of this esteemed gathering. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library's mission is to improve lives and build a stronger community. At no time in recent history has that mission been challenged and hindered more than during the COVID-19 pandemic. On March 18, 2020, all 20 of our branches closed. they would not reopen again until June 1st, 2020. During those 75 days, thousands of Mecklenburg County residents were denied access to the internet and the technology that so many depend on. Communities like West Boulevard, Hickory Grove, and Betty's Ford Road immediately felt the pain of what it meant to have no access to connectivity just when access to connectivity became critical to life, much less participating in the economy and in our democracy. It was during this time the library began to ask critical questions framed into a challenge. How might we bridge the digital divide when our library branches remain closed? Working in partnership with both Mecklenburg County and the City of Charlotte and our Library Foundation, we were able to demonstrate a model that worked. During the past year, the library leveraged CARES Act funding to deliver 2,700 free MECTEC computers into the hands of residents who needed a working and dependable device. Thank you. Through this investment, we've been able to showcase a model of how libraries can provide communities with technology they need now more than ever. Now, thanks to the Emergency Connectivity Fund, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library is ready to scale this effort to the next level. From this federal funding, which stems from the E-rate program, the library has secured $8 million. And with that investment, we are planning to work with this coalition to distribute 20,000 free MECTEC devices. Thank you. Into the hands of our residents. Also, in addition, thanks to a generous grant from the Institute of Museum and Library Services and a generous grant from the Knight Foundation, the library is piloting a free community network in the West Boulevard corridor, providing free internet access to over 800 households. We believe that these initiatives will change the story about the digital divide in Charlotte, and we would not be so bold as to do this work if it were not for this coalition that has formed over these many months. We welcome this opportunity. We welcome working with each of you to ensure our community is the most digitally equitable in the nation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Rogers, CEO of Truist, and while I'm relatively new to Charlotte, Jesse, thanks for making it very clear what it means to be invited to a party in Charlotte. We are very pleased to partner with so many of you here today to support the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. At Truist, our purpose is to inspire and build better lives and communities. So on behalf of Truist and our 53,000 teammates, we are making an $8 million commitment today on behalf of this initiative. This is a powerful way for us to live our purpose. Our $3 million grant to this wonderful institution will champion Charlotte's next generation of leaders and develop talent who will literally shape our future. This money will fund innovation in the Emerging Data Analytics Program and develop the Smith Tech Innovation Center, which connects students, faculty, and staff with the community to facilitate inclusive tech-based economic investment. We're also committing $5 million that will help ensure minority-owned businesses along the corridors of opportunity will have equitable access to capital. And I'm also pleased to officially announce today that the very first de novo new Truist branch will be opened in the Freedom Wilkinson corridor. We're also helping to close the digital divide by supporting schools like Hidden Valley Elementary through our homepage and E2D programs. We're strengthening the stability at home by investing and expanding safe and affordable housing. That's what public partnership and private partnership is all about. It's when everyone who lives and works in Charlotte and every future generation has an equal opportunity. Truist has a great history in this community. Our commitment here has never been stronger, and we stand proudly with all of you to make this commitment. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and this incredible opportunity.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here. So I'm Marvin Ellison, the Chairman and CEO of Lowe's Home Improvement. On behalf of the 300,000 employees we call associates, it's great to be here. And we believe at Lowe's that not only do we serve our communities with products, we serve it by taking steps to make all of our communities better. And I grew up in an environment that was economically challenged. In other words, I grew up poor. But my parents taught a couple of great lessons. They taught us the importance of richness of Christian faith and the importance that education creates the pathway out of poverty. And so with that, I'm delighted to say and announce that Lowe's will be making a $10 million commitment to support the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative. And the good news, Mayor, is we're making all of that available in 2021. Look, we hope these funds help to create a pathway of opportunities within Charlotte, bridging the digital divide, supporting this great university. And to Mayor Lyles and to President Umbrister, I'm a big believer that you support initiatives, but I'm a bigger believer that you support people. And so to both of you, this commitment would not be made without the two of you and your leadership. So thank you very much. I'm also proud to say this financial commitment of $10 million goes toward a bigger initiative for our company. Within the last 12 plus months, we've committed roughly $100 million for minority grants for small businesses, for affordable and safe housing in minority communities, and to hire more minority and black talent. I say often to my team, the key thing is to talk less and do more, and that's what we're trying to do here. So I'm excited to also announce that we're going to be working with JCSU on their new retail management program. And not only will I commit that we'll have any number of speakers you desire to come in to be guest lecturers, we're also going to dedicate a minimum of 10 paid internships each year for your students. And as quick as you can graduate them, I guarantee you I can hire them equally as fast. So send them my way, please. So look, we're excited to be a part of the Charlotte community. And as I always say, it is a blessing to be a blessing. And so we're committed to do all we can, Mayor, to support your efforts in this community. God bless everybody.
What a great day. Hello, I'm Keith Cockrell, President of Bank of America Charlotte. And it's exciting for me to be with you today as well. For all of us here in Charlotte at Bank of America, we're proud to support you, Mayor, on this initiative. Our total commitment to this initiative will be in the form of $25 million. We too believe in supporting not only this community, but in supporting our friends and our family here, and you are that, a great leader. As you've already heard, Bank of America served as a catalyst towards this digital divide. We provided 10,000 Chromebooks to CMS children and their families, new Chromebooks. With our partnership with E2D, we were able to distribute those Chromebooks in time for the start of the school year this year, so they could provide those. We're proud of the fact that we offer a minimum pay of $21 an hour at Bank of America, but even at Bank of America, you can apply for one of those $21 an hour jobs if you don't have an intelligent device. We don't take paper applications. So something as fundamental as technology is truly fundamental to the future of all of us. In addition to the devices, we pledged 10,000 hours of volunteer service by our teammates to mentor and support these students so we can find the next Jesse Curitin within our school district. Now, Bank of America, we seek multiple pathways to help finance the important work of racial equity. With our corporate philanthropic fund at the Foundation for the Carolinas, we invested $5 million to Bright Hope Capital, LLC, a new and exciting local investment fund focused on creating wealth and opportunities for Black and Hispanics. $2.5 million of that investment has already been deployed here locally in Charlotte. Thank you to Bright Hope Capital and their commitment to this community and finding businesses that are worthy of further investments. It's my honor today to announce that Bank of America, of the $25 million, $10 million of that will go to Johnson C. Smith University. Clay, we believe in this gold and blue blueprint. And finally, we're providing $6.5 million in below-market financing for economic development in the 6 corridors of opportunity. Mayor, we're committed to this initiative. So committed that we've decided that we're going to dedicate one of our executives at our cost, full-time, to support with the implementation in the corridors. Our support of the city and Johnson C. Smith University is the most recent commitments that we've made to Charlotte, our home, our hometown, and part of our company's $1.25 billion initiative over the course of the next 5 years to help advance racial equality and economic opportunity. We are Charlotte, and today's a great day. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Minor Shaw, Chairman of the Board of the Duke Endowment, and I'm joined by Dr. Gene Spalding, one of our Vice Chairmen. We also have a number of our trustees and staff with us today, and we are all thrilled to be here with you on this very special occasion. When our founder, James P. Duke, established the Duke Endowment in 1924, he named Johnson C. Smith University as one of the 4 schools in North and South Carolina that he wanted to support with his philanthropy. Johnson C. Smith has experienced many exciting changes in the nearly 100 years since then, and the Duke Endowment is honored to have been one of Johnson C. Smith's partners along the way. Our partnership continues today as we strongly support these critical efforts to advance racial equity, diversity, and inclusion for all. The Duke Endowment is grateful for the opportunity to join with businesses and community leaders in this significant work. This is a transformational time for the City of Charlotte and also for Johnson C. Smith University, which is why I am especially pleased to announce today the Duke Endowment's new commitment to Johnson C. Smith University of $40 million.
Thank you, Minor, and thank you all, and especially thank you, Mayor Lyles. I should probably just sit down at this moment, but I will share a few words. The Duke Endowment is incredibly proud that our funding will help Johnson C. Smith University advance their strategic plan, and most of all, to thrive as it launches new academic programs, strengthens career opportunities, thanks to many of you all here, enhances scholarships and financial aid, and develops deeper academic and corporate partnerships. Historically speaking, this august university was founded in 1867, a mere 2 years after the end of the Civil War and freeing of slaves. Imagine the courage that first class of men had who, under the peril of death, had been barred from learning how to read or write. And yet they entered Johnson C. Smith University, driven by outrageous ambition to become teachers and preachers, thereby, in the words of James Buchanan Duke, to uplift mankind. Today, we are reaffirming that concept. Through our commitment and our investment announced today, we are reaffirming that this university, its faculty, its staff, its students, and its alumni will all play an important role in uplifting North Carolina, a region of opportunity for everyone, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, or orientation. We are honored to join the community of Charlotte in providing support for this important work. President Armbruster has said that when he looks out of the windows of historic Biddle Hall, he sees Charlotte's gleaming skyline and can imagine the next generation of graduates charging into the world, eager to live up to the standards of this alma mater. I turn now to introduce you to one of those alumni. Deashana Pinnacle the Poet Logan is a 2019 graduate of Johnson C. Smith University. She majored in interdisciplinary studies with a concentration in criminology and social culture, and she has been writing and performing poetry both nationally and internationally for over 15 years. Deashana is a proud member of the Black Ink Monks Incorporated, a poetry organization founded right here on this campus. She works currently at Atrium Health as a lead security officer while she hosts open mics. I knew you all would do well together. And she performs poetry. So I proudly present to you Pinnacle the Poet.
Before I get into the poem, as a proud alum of Johnson C. Smith and a member of this community, I just want to say thank you to all of the donors, because it just is going to help catapult all of the people forward, you know, striving to be better. And I'm a direct reflection of that, because Johnson C. Smith still gives me opportunities today. So. I'm going to get into the poem. I watched my dreams flourish right before my eyes, and it scared me because it kept me having flashbacks of the last time, something like King Midas, everything I touched instead of gold turned to coal. I held the ashes of my life in my hands, praying that God could be some sort of blacksmith and piece me back together again, praying that I would have the courage to sit at the table with purpose and create a masterpiece, that I would be just crazy enough to divorce opposition, fall in love with opportunity, and marry the man I called my dreams my dreams. I thought were washed up with yesterday's mistakes, thrown out with last week's junk, locked away with last month's failure to appear. But then one day I was just crazy enough to believe again. C. Johnson C. Smith helped me become a poet. But God, he gave me a gift. And these words are the reflection in the mirror I was too afraid to see. My poems are the trip to the psychiatrist free of cost. My team of poets is the army, always ready for war, prepared to heal your battered and bruised soul. Poetry saves lives. And no, I do not stand here and attest to be a preacher, but this is gospel. So I came here today to tell you that to chase your dreams, become a stalker to perseverance, live each day like it's your last and make it last. Leave your mark on this world, etch your name in time so that your children and your children's children and their children will breathe the very air of your existence even when you're not there. Be the Jordan of your time, the Muhammad Ali of your era. Break records like Derek Jeter and go toe to toe with your opponent and win every single time like Floyd Mayweather. But more importantly, be like Christ. Change the world one prayer at a time. Make miracles happen every single day. Litter the land with love. Drop bombs of greatness on Baghdad. Sprinkle creativity on Costa Rica. Kiss Kenya with kindness. Sing songs of success with Singapore. Let's all declare war. Because you are never too young to make a difference. You are never too old to change the world. Somewhere deep inside, every single person in this room wants the same thing. So let's all make change and chase our dreams. Thank you so much. So they gave me some closing remarks that kind of seem unnecessary right now. Now, as a politician, you're always supposed to have something to say, but I'm not so sure that I have not heard everything I need to hear and listened hard to everything that I've heard. And thank you, Deshauna, for saying, make miracles happen, because I believe today we have made miracles happen. I can't say thank you. There's not enough gratitude, but there's a couple of things that a couple of people I'd like to recognize. As Elise Dashu and the school board members, are you here? Are you still here? Please stand. So I didn't introduce them at the beginning because I knew somewhat what was going to happen about the digital divide. And I want you to know how committed we are for those children that lost a year of learning, that are black and brown and Title I, whatever you want to call them. They are our focus. So thank you. Now, I know there's food and drink and lots of things to celebrate and lots of hugs and congratulations to be made today, and we're going to do that. But I have to say to you, I am the worst mathematician in the whole wide world. When I worked in the budget office, they wouldn't even let me use a computer or a calculator or even pencil and pad. But I think that I heard that this community took a $250 million goal and raised $196 million today. I want to ask the members of the City Council to stand again, please. Because this community has just entrusted in us something greater than we've ever imagined.
And my hope and goal is that we continue to push this forward in a way that, as the poetry said, makes this mark in our city today. Now, grassroots leaders, Mary, come on, stand up. All of you that are grassroots leaders, come on, stand up, please. The partnership of public and private, public includes you, without you setting the mark for us of how to do this in a way that makes everyone feel included and welcome to the process will make all the difference in the world. So when we walk out of this room today, whether we're elected officials publicly, grassroots leaders, not-for-profits, I don't care if you just went to Sunday school last week, walk out and let's talk about it and say that I think an abundance can bring us something to move together forward, that we can do this. This can make the true difference, and I'm going to stop there and say, we're in this because we want to make a difference. We're on a journey. Let's make sure that when we get to the place that perhaps the journey gets a little bit tough, we reflect on what was said today and take that moment to pause and say, we're not now going to get back to it. We're going to make this happen. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that came here today. Thank you, everyone that made a difference, whether that contribution was just to say, this is what I can help plan, whether or not I could donate, whether or not I'm going to make policy happen, how I'm going to make sure our children are safe and can be read. And I want to say to Shirley Hughes, who I've known since she became on the Johnson C. Smith board in 2004, we've dreamed of this a long time, and now it's time to wake up and get to it. Thank you all.